The gentleman on my shirt, his name is Ruben Salazar. He was a journalist in LA, and he was murdered about 50 years ago, almost 50 years ago, for being Chicano by the Los Angeles Police Department. I want to honor him. This is a poem called Sandhya. Pelon, Chato, and me, waking up to burning bacon and eggs sizzling in a pan at the house on Potosi Street. A shirtless uncle is singing. Grandma is wrapping his tacos in a brown bag. He puts them in his pocket as he shuffles off. He was our Robin Hood on heroin. And we're in the bathroom taking turns brushing our teeth and washing our faces. I wait for them to finish, holding a bottle of Lucky Tiger lanolin. Elbowing our way into the kitchen, Grandpa stomps his foot and snaps his fingers, yelling in Spanish to behave and be quiet. Grandma serves papas con huevos on a small plate. The sooner we're done, we can go outside and play, or go across the street to Casiano Park and be free of chores for the day. We'll dare each other while we're out exploring the arroyo filled with Pampers, grocery carts, fish, and beer bottles. Teenagers will ditch class and meet under the bridge to smoke pot and lose their virginity. We sit and watch while drinking Big Reds that an older junkie cousin dropped off in passing. We challenge each other all day long with our fists, legs, and brains. We go from friends to enemies and enemies to friends, just in time to see her wave us in from the house. There's sandía on the table, cut up into several pieces. We pass the salt and run back to the park like dogs with bones running away to be alone. Black seeds stuck on our cheeks, laughing at the mischievous things we did that day, and this was our reward. As the sun sets, we scare each other with stories of La Llorona around the city, and we'll talk about children pushing a car over some tracks too little too late. We'll slowly chase each other back to the house in ripped jeans, dirt, sweat faces, exhausted. We shower together and laugh at each other's penises and go to our room. We'll stare out the window to see a woman in a white dress sitting in the middle swing, howling like a banshee. The sound of a train in the distance means it's time to go to sleep. I'll stay up looking at the moon and say to myself, I never want this to end. Thank you. Quick note, the cover of this book is actually Raul Salinas, the poet. There was a mural here dedicated to him for a few years, and then this chapbook came out. And then a month later, the mural was covered over. So Raul Salinas is from San Antonio, so it'd be nice to have something for him, especially now that Resistencia is gone in Austin. This is the elders. Things haven't been the same since you left. I walked by your grave the other day, and your casket was viewable thanks to the pounding rain. I was hoping your hand would come out so I could help you, and this all would have been some painful dream that was finally over, and we could complete those plans over some drugs and laughs. The smell of you is fading, and I can barely remember the sound of your voice. You are no longer making cameos in my dreams. Did you get tired of warning me? What are things like for you now? I hope there isn't any more pressure or stress, but who are we kidding? People like us can't have that status. There isn't a world out there for us, even though we're trying to get there. I remember when you said peace could never be a goal, you either have it or you don't. It's true. There are too many things we must tend to. Where are you? Are you still in that cheap blue casket? Did you sneak out of the night of your wake, giggling out of your grave with a dirty suit, making your way to the nearest cantina, hoping to get laid? Maybe some desperate vieja took you in and you've been watching me behind trees and bushes all these days since. We had so much left to do, then again we had nothing at all. Please forgive me, I was sensationalizing you since you're dead now. Excuse me, sir. Can you throw some more dirt on my hero's bed? I'm ready to jump in and get him for old time's sake. Thank you. always wanted to do that. I always want to have like another book to grab, like all the real authors out there, like Carmen Tafoya. She always has this big binder, and I'm like, so I always wanted to do that. So Samora, I love the West Side. I love the South Side. I love San Antonio, and I'm going to write about San Antonio, and I'm going to write about the way it was, and I'm going to write about what the hell is happening and what's changing and what's good and what isn't good. I'm going to say their names. I'm going to speak it. I'm not going to stop either. So Samora is key because it's a huge part of our family. You know, I mean, we've all lived off this street, and now they're mostly gone. So I thought, I'm actually going to credit the title to my wife. She suggested it. I had something more dramatic, like, you know, for the reckless ones to die on Samora in a cantina at 2 a.m. And she was like, no, that's not going to work. Samora, right? So here's something I found. Blackberries. There's a widespread taboo, I didn't write this. There's a widespread taboo against picking blackberries after a specified date. Sometimes given as Michaelmas, September 29, sometimes as 10 October, which is allowing for the 11-day calendar shift of 1752. It's the same thing. It is said that from then on the berries taste bad because the devil has damaged them. Polite versions say he has struck them, kicked them, waved a club over them, or trampled them. Less polite ones are that he spat or pissed on them, which is likely to be the original idea since blackberries become watery and sour once frost has got at them. The link with Michaelmas is because his feast celebrates the battle in heaven when Michael the archangel drove Satan out and hurled him down to earth, Revelations 12. The dream is over. It's a waste of time. They don't want you. They don't want to be taken care of. They don't care about anything or anyone. You're setting yourself up for heartache. That was a telephone conversation with a relative. A white wooden swing jolted in 4 directions launches sticky leaves, ants, and stray bark with me. Holding the back of my neck on the ground, I'm looking up into a haze of 2 boys laughing, calling me a puto for crying. I struggle to breathe, and they turn as I rise. I grab the handle of a red wagon and run toward the house for safety. I look over my shoulder, wheezing. I know they won't catch me. They signal a warning. Vincent, please stop. I twist and fall face first, then chest, then stomach, and knees into a nopal patch. The wagon doddered toward the house. Pelon and Chato stand there as witness to my agony and split. Louis, my brother, comes out of the house, signaling me to hurry to him. His face pinks innocent, a black Iron Maiden t-shirt and fitted jeans. Arguing in Spanish, our grandparents sit in the car losing their patience. Louis pulls me off the cactus bramble on the count of 3. I am stuck. Needles sting from my thighs to my face. The cactus and I exchange flecks of skin and blood for pinpricks and needles. He rushes me toward the car. I scream a soundless note. Tears streak down in reddened sweat. I sit in the back seat whimpering, mocoso, all the way to San Antonio. We arrive at the house on Hidalgo Street. My tias take off my clothes and give provocative stares at my nakedness. The tweezers move quickly as they pluck my body. I'm looking out the window for escape. 2 cousins looking inside laugh at my exposed penis. A spider spins an orb web at the corner of a marigold-lit kitchen. When the tias are done, I pull my pants on and return to play. 2. I ran into a cactus patch last night in a dream. Pelon and Chato stood laughing. Pelon was in jail clothes. Chato was handsome. They crossed their arms over tattooed bodies and walked away undaunted. Louis appeared and told me to hurry up. His long hair was gone, eyes wrinkled after years of crying. He pulled me out of the nopales. I flung myself backward and limped to the back seat of the car, where our grandparents were exchanging chingaderas. I scream a doleful silence. The road to San Antonio spun faded vermilion against our tawny dirt road. The tias took off my clothes and leered at my nakedness, their teeth rotten, eyes yellowed. They wore vacant smiles and pulled tweezers from their thrift store purses, removing nettles stabbed into my flesh. I look out the window crying at lost cousins. One is a skeleton in a sundress, the other dressed in jumpsuit orange, an overdose and a murderer. I pull on my pants and hear their father, my tío Tony, crooning a faint corrido from a slick spiderweb in the darkened corner of a midnight kitchen blur. I open the door to a prismatic Barrio Street din. He says, Vicente, we wanted to tell you that we're watching and loving every fucking minute of it. Tío Tony, who died in 1989. Thank you. So there was a period, I didn't have a father growing up, but I had plenty of would-be step-in fathers who tried. One of the biggest father figures I had was an uncle of mine who was in prison, and I went to high school. And I decided to start writing to him, and he wrote back. And this became almost a weekly thing. This was like the greatest thing ever, before cell phones, before all that stuff. We wrote letters, right? And he would write, and I would run to the post office, like, man, I don't know how to ask these girls out. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. I'm lame. I suck. And I think he was surprised by it, but we carried on. So I was in high school for the 4 years, and he was in prison for the 4 years. So it was like, this was our time. Here's one letter. It's in something, I've had it since 1995. It was written in 1995. Cubo Chente, just writing these few lines to let you know that I received your letter and was very happy to hear from you. I heard the good news about you losing weight. Just don't overstress yourself. I was reading your letter and I found it very interesting. It made me think about what life should really be like. Everybody looks at life different, but not too many people are as confident as you are. Maybe that's why they're so far away from their dreams. I wish I could see life from your point of view, but I'm not too sure I can do that. I've been through so much shit in my life that it's hard to put much confidence in anything but the present. My future concerns me a lot, but I have to take it day by day. Not that there's anything wrong about thinking about the future. It's just that sometimes you have to watch what you wish for. You just might get it. I don't know if I want to be rich or famous. I don't think I can handle it just now. Money and fame are good, but if you don't know how to handle it, it can get you into trouble. Not that I've ever had any fucking money or fame, but just look at the rock stars. Some of them are blowing their brains out. Anyway, regardless of what I think, don't let anything stop you from pursuing your dreams. And remember me in your book. I'm the handsome one. I'm glad Mom and Dad are going to Vegas to visit. Well, Vinny, I don't have much more to say until I write again. Be good and take care of yourself. And your mom. Love, your Uncle Danny Rivas. P.S. Are you going to have any naked women in your movie? That's Danny Rivas. This is untitled. Sasamora Street, where uncles would suddenly walk out of a dilapidated house, or a shadow of a sappy pecan tree, or the shade of a bus stop, or the back seat of a parked car. That really happened. The sun would hit the black shades, a punch that never phased, and they would walk over to shake hands and hug. They stunk of beer and tres flores, the aroma of my memories. Barrio magic on streets of Manteca, a proud smile for their sister's son, soft jabs to my stomach, firm slaps to my back, jokes about the Spurs or Cowboys. Maybe lack of sex is what makes them lose, they say. All of this in 2 minutes, a promise to meet again later. The brambles were cut and destroyed over time, never to grow wild. Old berries dropped on windshields, staining cars. Kids threw them at each other, yelling blood. Hands reddened. It is the stain that I miss. Thank you all.